This is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year, and three-time loser, the Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on the Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
the Jason Walker Show, presented by Helena Accommodations. The in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. Broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave, here's Jason Walker.
Happy Thursday. It is the Jason Walker Show. On the Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Podbean Live, podbean.com. Just search everything Jason Walker Show. You can go to jasonwalkershow.com for everything. Find out where to watch, how to listen. Also on Treasure State Radio and Network One Sports. Appreciate you joining us on a Thursday. We got a couple of big shows to wrap up the week. Cannot wait until tomorrow. I'll tell you who's coming on at the end of the show tomorrow, so you'll want to hang on for that, I promise. It'll be a good one. Also, let's see. Today, big show. We have John Odell, Townsend wrestling coach. We have Eric Peterson, Helena High girls basketball coach. And we have Danny Sprinkle, the MSU men's basketball coach. Cat Grizz coming up on Saturday, both the men and women. So we'll talk to Coach Sprinkle here in about 10 minutes or so. Should be a great show. Again, email us anytime you want, jasonwalkersports@gmail.com. Also, you can tweet us at jwalkersports, at Jason Walker Show, and get all the info at jasonwalkershow.com, like I said. All right. So we got a big show coming up, as I said. Danny Sprinkle, John Odell, Eric Peterson, all set to join us. Man, it's a busy, busy show. And tomorrow, I'm so excited. But I won't tell you until tomorrow, or until the end of this show, who's coming up. All right, let's start off with some news out of the University of Providence and athletics. That is that athletics director, vice president of athletics, Dave Gant, has also been named the new vice president of student engagement, according to a press release set out by UP today. Interim President Father Oliver Doyle announcing that, and Gant will move into his new role starting on February 3rd. The new position combines both student affairs and athletics to maximize the continued commitment of UP student-centered outcomes and relations. This is very cool, and for Coach Gant, I still call him Coach because I first met him when he was the volleyball coach at Montana State. So we've got a long relationship of knowing each other, and he's a great guy. He has done a great job up at Providence. He's a graduate of Providence when it was then College of Great Falls or University of Great Falls. But to quote Coach Gant, our institutional mission is paramount in pulling together the efforts of multiple student-centered departments will facilitate a deeper sense of service and a stronger commitment to UP's mission. So, end quote. So this is just a cool deal for Coach Gant. And again, I guess he's been at Montana State, he's been at Oregon State, he's been at Gonzaga, he's been at Northern. He's a good dude. And it's a great thing for the Argos and University of Providence as a whole to have Coach Gant stepping in to that new role. Just got confirmation next week. We're going to chat with a former Lady Grizz basketball player, Megan Harrington, about the new documentary that's coming out called The House That Rob Built, based on the coaching career of Robin Selvig over in Missoula. That's coming up next Thursday, a week from today. And we've been emailing back and forth, Megan Harrington and I. She's a diehard Grizz, obviously playing for the Lady Grizz. And I'm a Bobcat. it's been fun on our conversations. Good time. Also, next we got a couple of big shows this week. We got big shows coming up next week too. Man, it's just fun doing this. If you want to be a part of it, join us. JasonWalkerShow.com. You can become a sponsor. You can donate. You can do whatever. You can email us. Just have fun with us, and we will have fun with you as well, and try to give you the best up-to-date sports news for the state of Montana, and of course locally in the Helena area. Speaking of, there were some Frontier games last night down in the Magic City, and Rocky Mountain College and Carroll College split. The women of Rocky ranked 24th, knocked off number 17 Carroll women, 43-39. We have talked with both head coaches over the last couple of weeks, Wes Keller at Rocky, Rochelle Sayers at Carroll, and the common theme over the last 3 or 4 years is first team to 50 wins. Well, last night down in Billings, it was first team to 40, and it ended up being Rocky, 43-39 the final. And Rocky actually led by 11 points with about a minute to go in the third quarter. Carroll got it to within 2, but the Battling Bears battled to get the win. It was 38-36. Rocky outscored the Saints 5-3 to get the final margin of 43-39. Let's see. Who led the way? Christine Denny had 17 points, lead all scorers for the Saints. But a very good win for the Battling Bears, who needed it after losing to Carroll by 2 at home 2 weeks ago, and getting blown out by LC State 82-54 on Saturday. So Wes Keller, the head coach, said that the team fed off the energy down there by the students last night. Markayla Francis had 14 points, had 7 rebounds. Antonisha Wright had 8.7 boards. Denny with the 17, like I said. Carroll now 6-3, a half a game ahead of LC State in the standings. For the women, LC State playing tonight, and I had the schedule. It's actually not tonight. It'll be tomorrow night. All the rest of the games tomorrow and Saturday. LC State is at Northern and Providence Friday and Saturday, respectively. Carroll will host Western tomorrow night at the PE Center in Helena. Tech is at Providence and Providence and Northern as well this week, and Rocky will travel to Western on Saturday. So Carroll sitting at 6-3, a half a game, like I mentioned, ahead of the women, or the LC women, as well as the Western women. So tomorrow night, a big game. Western beat Carroll a couple weeks ago on the men's side. Carroll women blew out Western at home 2 weeks ago. And then you have Rocky sitting there a game back. So, and then Providence 3-5, not out of it, and neither is Northern at 4-4. Tech at 1-7. Thanks for playing this year. Carroll gets to play Tech a couple of more times as well. But yeah, Carroll women sitting at 6-3, and then a half a game ahead of LC and Western. So this weekend's matchups all across the board in the Frontier on the women's side, critical games. On the men's side last night, the Carroll men, they did not need triple overtime like they did 2 weeks ago. They ended a 3-game losing skid, beating Rocky 76-61. Jovan Slavanchinen had led the way for the Saints. He had 23 points, 10 rebounds. Freshman Ifeanyi Okeke had a double-double, 10 boards, 10 points. 10 points, 10 rebounds. So the Saints men snapping that 3-game skid, and their second win in 2 weeks down in Billings. So that is a good win for the Saints. Tough one for Rocky, which falls to 1-8 in the Frontier. Carroll out-rebounded Rocky 32-28. They had an 18-3 advantage in second chance points and an 18-4 advantage in points off turnovers. On 11 turnovers, Carroll got 18 points. So very big win for the Saints. Dane Warp, Shamrock Campbell, 15 each. And Carroll was just under 50% shooting for the game. So On the men's side, when you look at the standings, LC State 7-1, Providence 6-2. Then you got Carroll at 6-3 now. They'll host Western tomorrow. Western beat Carroll 2 weeks ago at the PE Center. Tech 5-3. Northern, Western each 2-6, and then Rockies 1-8. So Tech the surprise team right now. And they got a couple of big games this week at Providence and at Northern. So that is your Frontier Conference update. There is Big Sky basketball tonight. We'll talk about a little bit later on because that's what we're going to do. The Jason Walker Show is presented by Helena Accommodations, the in-town 5-star extended stay residences. Visit HelenaAccommodations.com. You can go there now. Listen to me closely. Go there now and book for this upcoming spring and summer or even fall because football season's about ready to roll around. I know it seems crazy, but it is. Visiting business associates, you have family and friends coming to town. 4-night stay, 4-month stay, Helena Accommodations. 6 historic buildings have been refurbished and remodeled, and 22 extended stay suites, absolutely beautiful, all close to downtown Helena, and it is a great chance for you to take care of some family or friends if they come to town, because let's be honest, you got family coming to town, it's great to see them, you don't want them to stay with you, because then you got to clean up after them. Here's the great thing about Helena Accommodations. Most of the 22 extended stay suites have their own washer and dryer. You save money, right? You got a kitchen. You got the 4G. You got Wi-Fi, which is unbelievable. The best Wi-Fi. And it's just amazing. Go to HelenaAccommodations.com. Check it out. Get it booked. And then tell me what you thought of it. 5-star ratings that go back years. Seriously, I'm not even making this up. HelenaAccommodations.com. We'll be right back. When we come back, he's in his first year coaching at his alma mater at Montana State. Danny Sprinkle will join us next. Jason Walker Show.
The holidays have come and gone, and now is a good time to treat yourself to what you really wanted. A full detail for your vehicle from Auto Concepts. Right now, Auto Concepts is offering a full detail for just $195. Or maybe you want to tint those windows. Auto Concepts does that too. Get that tonneau cover or bed rug you've always wanted and add in remote start, alarms, running boards, lift kits, toppers, winches, bug guards, grill guards, and much more. Check out Auto Concepts on Facebook or visit the website autoconceptshelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back on a Thursday inside the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Jason Walker Show. Big show still to come. Danny Sprinkle will join us in a couple of minutes, the head coach at Montana State. Also going to be talking wrestling in the Class BC division with Townsend coach John Odell, and AA girls basketball with Helena High coach Eric Peterson. Get his thoughts on Kobe Bryant's passing as well. That is all still to come, along with On This Day in History. Got the walk-off, and a whole lot more still to come. Big show tomorrow, too. I can't wait to tell you who's coming up. Got a Bobcat and a Grizz. How about that? We're equal. All right, big show next week. Big shows next week as well. So appreciate you joining us, as we do each and every day here. And man, I love talking sports. I love this because you get to listen, and you choose to listen. You get to listen. You get the privilege of listening. Hey, our old friend Jill joining us. Worked together back in the day, like 6 years ago. And then she left, got all married, had a kid. Beautiful kid, by the way, Jill. Thanks for tuning in today on the Facebook. You can always watch on Facebook.com/The Jason Walker Show. You can YouTube it, search my name and the show. You can also listen live on Podbean, Network One Sports, Treasure State Radio. If you don't have the app for Treasure State Radio, it's on the Google Play or App Store. Download it and listen. Great stuff on Treasure State Radio as well. So appreciate them picking us up. We're going to be joined by Danny Sprinkle. He will join us on the Mike Miller State Farm hotline here in just a moment. You know, it's not just a home or a car. It is the 5 hours you spent in the kitchen mastering your epic wing recipe. I have a great wing recipe for you. Dry. Maybe I'll share it tomorrow. You also have that big, long family road trip to the tailgate party, especially for this weekend. You got the big football game coming up. While other insurance companies just see them as a bundle or a combo, State Farm agent Mike Miller sees your home and car as the time and memories you put into them. Mike Miller at State Farm, he understands what your things really mean to you. And he's here to help you give them the protection you deserve. Talk to State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena for your home and auto insurance today. Appreciate Mike being on board here on the Jason Walker Show and joining us now to talk about his first year as the head coach at Montana State, his alma mater. Big game, his first coaching in the Cat Grizz. He played in 9 of them. But here to chat about it now is the head coach of the MSU Bobcats, Danny Sprinkle, on the Jason Walker Show.
No problem.
Coach, first question, how you doing?
Things are good. Yeah, things are good. Had a great road trip last weekend. I'm proud of the guys and how they competed. And, they got a little better. And we fought through some adversity and had a really nice, comeback at Weber. And same thing at Idaho State. It was a tie game with 7.5 minutes to go. And the guys found a way to win. So, got to keep getting better today, though, too.
That's right. That's your motto. You just move forward day by day, right? Danny Sprinkle joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm hotline, the head coach at Montana State. 5-4 in your first conference season, 11-9 overall. Is this kind of what you thought when you inherited this team and came in?
I don't know what I expected. We had a tough non-conference too.
Mm-hmm.
For us to win 6 games in the non-conference, I thought was probably more than I would have expected. When I coming into the summer, because I knew how good Greensboro was and Appalachian State, and to win those 2 games was huge, and obviously beating a really good South Dakota State team was a great win for us. And so, I knew we were playing some really, really good mid majors. Now it's not like we were playing Arkansas and whoever, Washington, schools like that, but we were playing really, really good veteran, mid-major teams, which is sometimes harder because, you're not surprising anybody when you go play those guys. And so, but I'm proud of the way the guys, they've come together and they've stayed together. We've had, a couple tough home losses, but the guys just keep coming back and they're like sponges. They want to keep improving.
Danny Sprinkle, our guest here on the Jason Walker Show, and obviously we have to ask about Harold Frey because he's your all-everything, do-everything guard from Norway. Would you be where you're at without Harold and his leadership? And I mean, he's had a couple of struggles with shooting, but he does so much behind the scenes and that doesn't show up in the stats.
Oh, no question. We wouldn't even be close. He makes everybody better. I'm just speaking on the court. He's got such a high basketball IQ. He makes the right play. It doesn't matter if teams double team him, triple team him. We've seen everything. We've seen boxing ones. He knows exactly where to get the ball and how to get the ball to that point. And our guys have done a really good job feeding off him too. And I think we've had some guys really step up in the last couple of weeks, like Amon Adamu and Jabril Bello, who they make it easier for Harold also. And we're going to need that because we need all hands on deck for us to have a chance at any conference game. We got to defend at a really high level, and like I said, we haven't made too many shots lately, but we're somehow squeaking out some wins because of our defense and rebounding.
You mentioned Amon Adamu, who got the big layup, the game winner to beat Weber on the road last week. A great pass from Harold when you watched that. But most impressively, Coach, you came back from a 13-point deficit, and this is something that Bobcat teams in the past might not have been able to do.
Yeah, I think it's a belief, that we, from when we started on June 24th, we raised the expectation with them, and I told them I'm going to hold them to that standard. Whether things are going good or bad, the standard is the standard. And, like the Pittsburgh Steelers say. And, it's one of those where, I think even on, after some of our wins, we've had some really tough practices. And, I don't know if our guys have been used to that in the past, but it's one of those where we just got to keep improving. And, hey, yeah, it was a great win. Enjoy it till midnight. Next day, we got to pay rent again. And, they've done a really good job of keeping it coming back day after day after day and trying to get better.
Danny Sprinkle, the head coach of Montana State, joining us ahead of your first Cat Grizz game as a head coach. You played in this game. You went 5-4 overall against the Grizz. You might be the last class that has a winning record against the Grizz, but this is a big matchup in multitude of reasons, not just because it's Cat Grizz, but Big Sky Conference, it's the halfway point of the conference season. You guys are fighting for that one of those buys, and I know there's a long way to go, but this is an important game Saturday.
It is. It's an important game for many reasons. Obviously the in-state rivalry and just how important it is to everybody in the state and both universities, and also, like you said, in the conference standings. Depending on what happens with their game tonight, we could be one game out of first. After this weekend if we take care of business. And but like you said, we're only halfway through. This 20-game league schedule is brutal. And, I'm used to 16 games in league, and I thought that was long. But, especially when you just add on the travel and the Big Sky, it's tough and it's grueling, but, the one thing it does, it kind of rewards the mentally tough teams also. And that's something that this program, we're really trying to, ingrain in these guys is, the last half of the conference, it's not so much physically. Everybody's tired. Everybody's banged up. Now, how tough are you mentally, and what's your belief?
When you look at the stats, you guys are so evenly matched with scoring offense, scoring defense, field goal percentage, rebounds. On paper, this should be a very close game. But we know games are not played on paper; they're played inside your radios and Saturday or on your television. But how do you shut down the Grizz? Because they're so good, and it starts with Saeed Pridgett, but he's not the only one.
Hey, well, first off, they're really good. They're really talented, but they're really well coached. Mm-hmm. You look at the job Coach Takir's done there, and he's done a tremendous job there. Like I said, it all starts with Saeed Pridgett. But I will say they got so many other guys that are dangerous. Kendall Manuel, he's had a great senior season. Really shoots it and can go for 5 or 6 threes and get 30 points any game. Samuelson, I'm dating myself. I played against his dad, who was a phenomenal player.
Yes.
And, if you look back at, probably 4 of their wins in conference, they don't win those games without Samuelson. NAU, Southern Utah. The list goes on. He's had some huge Idaho. He hit 3 big threes in the first half. And he's just dangerous because he's a 5-man that can shoot it.
Yep.
And so it changes up your defensive coverages a little bit, and it really puts a lot of stress on your defense. But they got so many. I mean, the DJ Carter Hollingsworth, the freshman, he got Player of the Week one of the weeks in conference. He had like 25 and 12 against Eastern Washington, and so they're all dangerous, and we definitely got our work cut out for us.
All right, let me ask you this, Danny Sprinkle, the head coach. Couple final questions at Montana State here, but your playing experience at Dahlberg, how can you relate that to your kids? You've only got like 3 or 4 guys that have played in this game, so they understand it. But how can you relate what it was like?
Yeah, I mean, you guys just mentioned. I mean, the hard part with this team is, 10 of these guys have never really played Division I before that we have on our roster.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of makes what they've done this year, surprising but also impressive. That they've produced so early in their Division I, future. And but I think the one thing you can't do is you got to get the emotions out of the way in warm-ups. I think that was one thing Coach Durham, he'd always tell me too, like, hey, go out there, enjoy the crowd in warm-ups. Hey, get that out, because once that ball gets thrown up, we got 40 minutes to play. And, the one thing you can't do in Dahlberg is you can't all of a sudden come out the first 3-4 minutes and let them get out to a 11-2 lead. Because now you're 9 points down, and now you're going to be clawing back the entire game. They're too good, and and the crowd's really good over there, so it gives them energy. And so we got to be productive, and we got to stay on that even keel for all 40 minutes.
Final question for you: what's your favorite memory of playing at Dahlberg?
Playing at Dahlberg, probably probably playing against Boya.
Mm-hmm.
One of my childhood idols. We played them up there. My senior year, we actually beat them, but the game was actually at Sentinel High School because they were doing the renovations at Dahlberg. And so specifically in Dahlberg, I would I'd say playing probably against Chris.
It's a pretty good memory. He was pretty good. His daughter's pretty good for Carroll volleyball.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Is he? Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. He's probably one of the best athletes ever out of the state.
Oh man, unbelievable. You're right up there too, though. So I wouldn't spread
No, I appreciate that.
Coach, we appreciate it. Continued success this season. Looking forward to chatting with you as the conference season starts to kick into the second half here, and good luck on Saturday.
You bet. Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks, Dave.
That is Danny
Thanks, Coach.
Sprinkle.
Appreciate it.
That is Danny Sprinkle joining us here on the Jason Walker Show. Mike Miller, State Farm Hotline for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs. Get a hold of Mike Miller, State Farm in Helena. That game coming up Saturday night, 7 o'clock at Dahlberg Arena, and it'll be on, I think, SWX Montana. Hi, Riley. Riley joining us on the Facebook for the first time. Talk about a great athlete. Man, basketball, baseball. Yeah, fun dude to watch there. There is games tonight, and Coach Sprinkle kind of talked about it. Montana is at Portland State. Now, people are thinking, no, this might be a little bit unfair because the Grizz have to travel to Portland State, and then they come home to host the Cats on Saturday. In the month, the exact same thing happens in reverse. Montana State goes to Portland State and then comes home to host the Grizz 2 days later. That's in a month. So it evens out. There's not it's not about fairness. Big Sky Conference schedule is brutal. You're trying to get 20 games, 11 teams, and you have that lone wolf like the Frontier Conference does, that lone wolf that has to be playing weird nights, like Portland State, I think, plays 5 different Mondays this year. John Casper from the Big Sky offices did tweet out today that next year the schedule is going to start earlier in December for conference play instead of right after Christmas. And that's a lot like the Frontier does. They play a couple of games early in December because they have an 18-game conference schedule. It's nuts. This is why you need an even amount of teams. Just saying. All right. So, Jason Walker Show. Still to come, Eric Peterson, Helena High girls coach. We'll check in with him coming off the crosstown loss to Capital last week. Big road trip up to the Flathead Valley this week. And John Odell will talk wrestling for Townsend as the regular season coming to an end. Big mixer tonight at Broadwater High School. Also a big match tomorrow with Anaconda for Townsend as well. Support for the Jason Walker Show comes from Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. I know of a friend of mine decided, hey, I'm going to start taking care of myself. I'm going to start manscaping. And he uses his electrical razor that he cut himself. I'll just put it that way. It was not good. So he stopped doing it. But then I turned him on to Manscaped, and now he loves it to shave and trim and manscape, basically. Just visit manscaped.com because the Lawnmower 2.0 has proprietary skin-safe technology. This trimmer will not snag. It will not nick. Accidents are a thing of the past. Proprietary skin-safe technology. Also, check out the Crop Preserver and the Crop Reviver. But the Crop Preserver is an anti-chafing deodorant and moisturizer. Could you put deodorant, guys, on your armpits? Why not put it on the smelliest part of your body? This is great for athletes because if you're heading to the gym, you got a quick workout, and you don't have time to shower, Crop Preserver. Boom. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code WALKER20. It's WALKER20 at manscaped.com. Always the right tools for the job. Your balls will thank you. Get 20% off, free shipping with the code WALKER20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off free shipping. Manscaped.com. Use the code WALKER20. WALKER20. Manscaped.com. All right, quick break. We'll come back, talk some high school basketball with Eric Peterson of Helena High. Next, Jason Walker Show.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinners Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinners Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinners Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com. The holidays have come and gone, and now is a good time to treat yourself to what you really wanted. A full detail for your vehicle from Auto Concepts. Right now, Auto Concepts is offering a full detail for just $195. Or maybe you want to tint those windows. Auto Concepts does that too. Get that tonneau cover or bed rug you've always wanted and add in remote start, alarms, running boards, lift kits, toppers, winches, bug guards, grill guards, and much more. Check out Auto Concepts on Facebook or visit the website autoconceptshelena.com. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
It is the Thursday here on the Jason Walker Show. Appreciate Danny Sprinkle joining us. Cat Grizz coming up on Saturday night in the Garden City. Looking forward to that one. The women's game will be played at Dahlberg in the afternoon as well. Lady Grizz hosting Portland State women tonight. Portland State knocked off Montana a couple of weeks ago, 17 days ago, out in Portland, the Rose City. So, then the Lady Grizz and the Bobcat women will do battle. Bobcat women in first place in the Big Sky women's standings. All right, that's all coming up Saturday. Tomorrow, Shannon Schwayen will join us, the head coach of the Lady Grizz. Looking forward to chatting with her. She's got a couple of really good players in the Queen City, Mackenzie Johnston and also Jamie Pickens. But one of those guys, one of those players played against Helena High. The other one played for Helena High, the two-time Gatorade Player of the Year, Jamie Pickens. She's a freshman. We'll get her former coach's thoughts on how well she's doing a little bit here in a minute. Because joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline is the head coach of Helena High girls. His name is Eric Peterson, coming off a tough loss last week to Capital and looking forward to a big road trip this weekend. And Coach Peterson now here on the Jason Walker Show. Coach, first question I wanted to ask you is the passing of Kobe Bryant, and I think it happened on your birthday on Sunday, but A, not a great birthday, but B, what were your thoughts as we've seen the hashtag girl dad, but what were your thoughts of one of the greatest in the NBA?
I think I was just shocked, just you never think of somebody so young dying, and that with everything that goes with that, with us being the same age and having the same aged children. And I was coming home from a traveling basketball tournament while he was, going to do some things with his daughter at some travel basketball things. It just really kind of hit home, and it kind of shook me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of an emotional day after just knowing that, every day you gotta make sure that you're talking to the loved ones and letting people know how much you care about them.
I saw your tweet, and you said you weren't a big Kobe fan, but you respected him more after his retirement, basically, I think is how, paraphrase you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's true. I think, I was such a huge Michael fan, that huge Jordan fan, that I always thought that, Kobe was trying to just kind of live off his coattails a little bit. But I guess who wouldn't want to be like the best? And that's why I respected him more and more as his career went on as a player, is that, he put the time in and he was all about basketball. And when that ended, then he became just such a huge advocate for a lot of things, including women's basketball, because obviously he's got 4 daughters. And so that kind of hit home a little bit, being a women's basketball coach myself, and just knowing how he was trying to promote the sport.
Eric Peterson, our guest here. I don't know if you saw this on my Twitter, but it was somebody had put this together, and I don't know the hours that they spent, but it was shots of Michael Jordan taking, his moves with Kobe Bryant. Did you see that? It's like 2 minutes long, but it's like
unbelievable.
It's so eerie how similar they were.
Unbelievable, yeah. How they just transposed one shot into the next, and it was just uncanny how exact it was. Yeah, I saw that on yours. It was pretty cool.
Eric Peterson, the Helena High coach, joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. All right, let's shift gears. A tough week for the Bengals falling in Crosstown. That was a tough one for you guys. It was at their place, and you knew it was going to be a tough game because this is a very good Capital team. What was your takeaway?
My takeaway was that, we didn't finish the game, going up 10, and going into the fourth quarter, we have to finish. And that's one thing that we haven't done, against the top teams in the state yet. And, taking that away though, I feel like it was a great game. I felt like we had a good game plan. We were up 10 against Capital, who was undefeated, and, going into the fourth quarter. So we were doing some things right. Our defense was going okay, but just to finish the game, we made some silly mistakes, and at clock management at the end of the game, where with 7 seconds left, we literally practiced that scenario the day before, so I felt comfortable not taking a timeout, and it didn't work out very well. We didn't get a shot up, and so there's just little things that we didn't do on point, but in the end, I think it was a good learning experience for us because we hadn't been in a game like that yet.
How much of that was the inexperience of some of the players not, playing in big games yet? And I know you've got a whole roster full of girls that have played big games, but you still have some of that inexperience out there.
I could say it's a lot, but I would say Capital's in the same exact scenario. So They have the Barch girls that have played in those types of games before, but really the other three on the floor hadn't. And so we're very similar. We have Abby Marcille and Emily Feller, who have both been in those big game situations before. And the other three, Riley Tennis played huge minutes for us last year in the state tournament. Caroline Bullock played some big minutes for us. So, I would love to use that as an excuse, but I just don't think we can at this point.
That makes a lot of sense, and you're not one to make excuses anyway. Now you rebuild as Eric Peterson joins us here. Jason Walker Show on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Not rebuild, I guess. You regroup and refocus because you've got a big road trip coming up this week against a very improved Flathead team and a pretty good Glacier team. They played each other tight last week at their crosstown.
Yeah, it's actually a huge week for us. We're going to play 4 games in 7 days. So we go Friday, Saturday, then we're right back at it on the road on Tuesday in Butte, and then home against Hellgate on Thursday. So this is a huge week for us. And as we get through the last part of the conference schedule with the Kalispell schools, and then we're turning back over. So it's going to be interesting to see how the girls respond after the Capital game, going up to Glacier on Friday, and hopefully we'll be focused and take care of those little things that we didn't take care of against Capital.
You have had now, it'll be 8 days between games. Is that beneficial, or would it have been good to get right back out on the floor?
Oh, I think it's beneficial for us at this point in the game, with finals that week and just healing up little nagging injuries. And we've had a lot of sickness this week, and so it's nice because the girls haven't had to worry about being ready for a game. They've put the time and the hard work in practice, but it's just not the same as a game. And so I think that it kind of worked out for us this week, especially with the sickness that's been going around.
1 game before 8 days off, and then you play, like you said, 4 in a week. So it's one end of the spectrum to the next. Eric Peterson, our guest here, Jason Walker Show. All right, break down Glacier. That's your game Friday night. Break them down.
Play a lot of man-to-man. We haven't seen a ton of man-to-man this year. Capital played us a little bit more than anybody else has. They play full court man, and they bring a lot of energy, and they're doing a few different things than they have in the past with the new head coach. But in the end, they still are playing pretty darn good defense, and that's what they've always been known for. Feel like they've got a great player in Audrey Rademacher, just very athletic, knows how to score, and so she's going to be a focus of ours for sure.
Eric Peterson joining us here. A couple final questions for you, Coach. But when you look at the AA this year, there's a couple of players on each team that are good, but there's no absolute standout, I think, when you look across the state, like there was the last couple of years, i.e. Jamie Pickens. But there's really not, it's more of team basketball now. And I know the Bengals played team ball with Jamie, but you know what I'm saying? There's not a true, one person standout this year in the AA.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're on there. I think there's a lot of very solid players out there that are college bound and have signed or will sign, but there's not that one dominant force like we've been fortunate enough to have for the last 4 years in Jamie. But on the flip side, I think it's the same that goes for the teams too. I think that, given where we're at, I still feel like, we have just as good a shot as anybody to finish the year strong and keep learning and keep building towards playing our best basketball, which obviously we have not done, but I feel like we're taking strides every week. And so it gives us, as a team, it gives us a little bit more hope knowing that, the one team that's undefeated, we were up by 10 going into the fourth quarter. So there's not a team we haven't played that we felt like we've been totally outmanned, going back to what you were saying. So it bodes well for us. Speaking of Jamie, were you surprised that she's kicking some tail over there in her freshman year with the University of Montana? I know you're going to say you're not surprised because it's in her, but she's playing extremely well as a true freshman in a very tough conference. Yeah, she is. And I'm not surprised, especially on the offensive end. I think where she struggles a little bit is on the defensive end, and that's just a whole nother speed of the game at that Division I level in the Big Sky. And offensively, everybody knows that she's been able to score, and now they have her, solely at that five position down low, and I think it surprised herself how well she can score down there. No, she's as good of a talent as I'll ever coach in my life, and it's fun watching her have success at the next level.
So you got her first Cat Grizz game coming up on Saturday afternoon about the same time. You're going to be playing Flathead. If you could, would you bus or drive down to Missoula? Do you wish that game was a little bit later?
I did. I told my wife that a couple days ago. I was just like, man, I wish that was a 7:00 game, that Cat Grizz game. We would take the whole bus and just go right from Kalispell and make a little detour and go to watch the Cat Grizz game and then go home afterwards. That'd be awesome. But unfortunately, we were playing about the same time, so I don't even get to see any updates.
You're going to watch the replay, though, later? As a coach, you watch a lot of film, but is that one you'll definitely watch?
Well, I probably will. I've been trying to watch as many games as possible of hers, and it's fun. It's fun for me to see her just, like I said, succeed on the floor and off the floor. I think she's doing some really good things in the classroom, and that matters more than anything. So I'm just really proud of her for where she's at right now and just the upside she has going forward.
All right, last question. Eric Peterson, head coach of Helena High. Who wins the Super Bowl?
I'm going for the Chiefs. I don't know if they can do it, but I'm going for the Chiefs.
Okay.
For just a couple reasons. Just Andy Reid fan. I like how he carries himself, and I have one of my good friends used to work for him for the Eagles, and he can never say anything bad about him and just raves about him. So I like rooting for good people. So I would say I don't have any other ties other than I have a bunch of annoying friends that are Niner fans. So I've just been hearing it lately because my Bears are always terrible. So when any other team is good, I get a dose of not very humility from my buddies, and so so I'd like to see them lose.
Well, I've been a Cowboys fan, so I feel your pain. You've been to the Super Bowl more recently than the Cowboys have.
True. We haven't won one, though.
That's true. Coach, I appreciate it. Safe travels up to the Flathead this week, and good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason.
Helena High coach Eric Peterson joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. Helena High girls at Glacier Friday, and then they are at Flathead on Saturday, and at Butte on Tuesday next week, and then a week from today they are home for the first time in forever. So anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk to John Odell, the wrestling coach at Townsend. That's next. This is the Jason Walker Show. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of the Jason Walker Show.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Final segment on a Thursday. Big show coming tomorrow. Can't wait to tell you what's on the way. I will tell you Shannon Schwayen is going to join us, the head coach of the Lady Grizz. And a special guest as well. Cannot wait. Tell you here in about, 7 or 8 minutes. Before the end of the show, I promise. All right, so we're getting to the end of the regular season in wrestling. Got the final weekend of the regular season this weekend. Next weekend, you've got divisionals. You've got the AA seeding tournaments and a whole lot going on in the wrestling world. And that includes Jefferson, Townsend, Class BC wrestling, And to join us now and talk about his team is the head coach of Townsend. He also is the tennis coach out there, and we'll talk to him in the spring, but we're going to talk to him now in the winter about wrestling. John O'Dell joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show. Coach, welcome. First question I guess I have for you is, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. Very well. Busy year.
It's always fun to chat with you, and yeah, this is a busy year. Before we talk about wrestling, you're a big tennis guy. So have you watched any of the Australian Open?
A little bit. I'm pretty busy right now. I watched the A match is all I watched.
It's going to be a couple of good finals, I think, once they get there. But man, is that what's your if you could go to one tennis tournament, one of the Grand Slams, which would it be?
I'd like to go to Wimbledon. I think that'd be pretty cool. That one's pretty awesome. Probably never get there since I don't like to fly. So,
well, you could. They got boats.
I've thought about a boat, but I don't have that kind of time either.
That is true. John O'Dell joining us, the Townsend wrestling coach, as we switch gears to wrestling. Bulldogs with a nice showing so far this year, including last week at the BC Duels, where you guys finished second overall. How happy, I guess, were you with that finish last week?
Pleased. We've had a really good dual season. We're 22-2 in duels this year, so we've had a great dual season. We knew we could be right in the hunt for the title. Unfortunately, we did not. We were a little bit flat in the championship, and Huntley was not. They're a very good team, and they beat us like we haven't been beat in years.
I looked at all those dual finals. Nothing was really close in the championships from AA down to the BC. But what thing stood out to you the most about the way that the guys battled?
We in that particular duel.
Yeah.
Well, we were in several matches. We were winning big, and we just kind of got caught and pinned in several matches in a row. And boy, momentum really shifted. And it's funny in a sport like wrestling, you don't often think, but momentum has a huge role in it. Teams get fired up and wrestle at another level, and that's kind of what happened to us. I think that's what happened in a lot of the championship rounds. I looked at that as well. People just got on a roll.
That definitely happens. It's like any sport, if one person shoots well and the next, the teammates are going to start as well. But when you look at the rankings in the BC coaches poll, you got a few guys, and it goes from the lights to the heavies and a little bit in between. Obviously, that's what you want, is that good balance, right?
Yeah, we're pretty balanced this year. We're actually pretty heavy in the middle. We're pretty strong in the middle areas, but we have a little bit on each end too. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting because we've seen Glasgow and Huntley, and right now we're ranked 3. But boy, I tell you, there's about 4 or 5 teams that could be that number 3. I think, and I think if we have a good tournament, we can be higher if we spark alive at the right moment at state.
You have the final weekend of the regular season coming up tonight. You got the Harry Hall Mixer, and tomorrow at Anaconda, and then next week divisionals. And how many guys are you hoping to get to state? Because when it comes to state championships, individuals great, but you want to have that depth. How much depth do you have, and how many guys do you anticipate in taking to Billings?
Well, I think on a normal year, we would definitely be taking a lot. The Southern B is really deep this year.
Yep.
And I think, and there's several teams in the Southern B that could be a trophy team. And I think if we, the first team that's going to get 10 or 12 through from the Southern B has a big upper hand.
Individually, when you look at it, I just love this name, but at 113, you got Spur Owens. Sounds like he should be riding bareback or bronc ride or bulls, but how has he been this year, and how much has he impressed you?
Spur, he's had a good year. He started off heavier and at 120, and once he got down to 13, he really came alive. And actually, he is a bull rider.
Oh, there you go.
He went to the last 2 junior national finals rodeos. He's a pretty good cowboy.
I like that. I knew there was a connection there. John O'Dell joining us, the wrestling coach of out at Broadwater, Townsend High, here on the Jason Walker Show. A couple of more individuals I wanted to talk about, and it's in those middles where you mentioned where you're really heavy, but you look at a Riley Richtmeyer and you look at an Easton Held at 32 and 38. Those are two really strong guys right there.
Oh yeah, I mean they're both those guys. They're right in the thick of things. And I tell you what, Class B 132 and 138 this year are deeper than I've ever seen. I mean, we have 4 or 5 guys in each of those weights in our division that I think can place at state. But I think Held and Richtmeyer, if they wrestle well, they could definitely be on top of the podium. They've got obviously some very strong competition, but they're right in the thick of things for sure.
This has been one of those years that, like you said, there's certain weight classes that are really strong and up for grabs. And do you see any weight classes that are true runaways for anybody this year?
Runaways. Not off the top of my... Well, the one is the Cook kid from Columbus at 26. He has not given up a takedown all year. He's beaten Tilmany from Thompson Falls and Tug Taylor from Circle, and he beats them handily. And when they went to the CMR and there was all the A and AA kids there, it was 1, 2, 3, those Class B kids, and Cook is kind of far out in front of the pack quite a bit.
You got the Harry Hall mixer, like I said, tonight at home.
50th
and that's
annual.
What's that?
50th annual Harry
Hall
Hall
it is
mixer.
the 50th. That is awesome.
Well, I make up a new number every year. It's really not, but it sounds pretty prestigious when I say that.
I like it. Let's just call it the 50th every year.
Yeah.
There you go. How special is this one tonight, though?
Oh, it is. It is really actually a pretty good one for us, because actually the reason I call it the 50th this year is this is actually Harry's 50th year of coaching wrestling. And so we just kind of changed it to the 50th annual just to match his number of years of coaching. So
that's awesome,
because he started in 1969. So
that is absolutely fantastic. And then tomorrow, like I said, at Anaconda, the
battle for the Copper Shamrock. It's
that's a good one
versus the Irish kids.
That is a good one tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that. Let me ask you this, Coach O'Dell, as we wrap things up here. Girls wrestling was added to MHSA this last week, and I think it's a great thing. We've seen the growth of girls that get into the sport, and it's a great sport individually, but also a great team sport. But what's your thoughts on girls wrestling being added as an official high school sport?
I like it. I'm always a proponent for more opportunities for kids. I think they definitely. I can't wait till they grow sport enough to where the males and females are separated. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to really explode the sport. But I think you're going to see the numbers on the rise, and I think the girls will, once they have their own division, it's going to be huge in Montana because we have a lot of tough girls here.
We definitely do.
Yeah, I think it's tremendous, and I know that there's going to be a lot of opportunities in girls college wrestling, and for these young girls, we've just in our conference we have 2 really good ones off the top of my head in the same weight.
Should
the
be
Grismer girl from Cascade and the Ayers girl from Highwood.
Yeah, no, it's a great sport for many, and I like it. Like I said, I think this is a great thing that MHSA approved, and like you said, once they have their own separate weight, gender weight classes, it'll be even better. But Coach, we appreciate the time. I can't wait to chat some tennis, but we'll get you on before the state tournament or state wrestling as well. Be down there in Billings. That'll be a fun week. So good luck tonight and this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
That was John O'Dell joining us, the head wrestling coach out of Townsend, and big one tonight, the Harry Hall Mixer at Broadwater High. So if you're heading out there, enjoy it, and that'll be a good time. All right, real quick, let's get to on this day in history. 1924, Great Britain clinches the inaugural Olympic curling gold with a 46-4 win over France at the first Olympics, winter. 1971, UCLA started its 88 basketball game win streak. Let's see here. Magic Johnson came out of retirement in 1996 after 5 years and helped the Lakers to a big win. Utah's Karl Malone in 2002, the second player in NBA history to register over 34,000 points. Only Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had more. Happy birthdays today, Jalen Rose, who gave up 81 to Kobe, 14 years ago last week. So there you go. Time for this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Ooh, almost knocked over my F-bomb. Jason Walker Show, and the walk-off is presented by Cafe Zydeco. Here's what's coming up tomorrow. I forgot to tell you this. Shannon Schwein, I told you that. Jan Stenerud, the NFL Hall of Famer, former Bobcat, Kansas City Chief. He will join us tomorrow. Cannot wait to chat. I got a great story about Jan Stenerud, and we'll tell you about it tomorrow. Thanks to Danny Sprinkle, head coach of Montana State, Helena High girls coach Eric Peterson, John Odell, Townsend wrestling coach, for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Jason Walker Show at 4. Stop by Cafe Zydeco. Grab some home for dinner tonight. They're open till 8 at 625 Euclid. We'll see you tomorrow at 4. Jason Walker Show here. Bye.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.